on Osrc News at 7. Governor Aiyedatiwa stresses impotence of due process amid justice delay. Experts condemn manipulative tendencies of AI as media professionals commemorate World Radio Day. INEC fixes dates for 2027 general elections. And from the foreign scene, South Africa deploys troops to tackle crime gangs. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the news at 7 OSRC television. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara. Ondo State's Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has cautioned that democracy becomes fragile when the rule of law weakens, stressing that security without justice fuels resentment. Speaking at the Distinguished Personality Lecture titled Democratic Governance, National Security and the Rule of Law at the College of Law, Ife-Tedo campus of Osrc State University, Aiyedatiwa described democratic governance, national security and the rule of law as interconnected pillars essential for protecting citizens' rights, safety and access to justice. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details.
Academia, political associates and top government officials, including Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, conveyed on the College of Law, Ife-Tedo campus of Osrc State University for a distinguished personality lecture titled Democratic Governance, National Security and the Rule of Law. APC Southwest National Vice Chairman Isaac Ikemeke, drawing from his experience in academia, the judiciary and legal practice, called the address essential reading for lawyers, judges, politicians, and students.
When we have that the University of Osrc, particularly the College of Law, would like to have him speak on democratic governance, the rule of law, we thought that they have made the right choice. Because this is not just someone who writes about it, who talks about it, but who has practiced it and is been practicing it.
In his lecture paper entitled Democratic Governance, National Security and the Rule of Law, the National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Ajibola Bashiru, described democratic governance, national security and the rule of law as practical pillars for a modern, stable and prosperous Nigeria.
The emphasis now is on broadening the concept of national security to encompass the totality of measures taken by the government to protect the state, its citizenry and its socio-economic infrastructure, which Nigerian constitutional philosophy places as the arm of government primary purpose, section 14 of the Nigerian Constitution. This constitutional mandate situates security as a paramount concern, not merely a fundamental objective policy that is unenforceable, but as a foundational obligation of democratic governance inseparable from legitimacy, accountability, and the rule of law.
The former senator criticized Nigeria's centralized police architecture as overstressed and disconnected from community needs. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who was the special guest of honor, hailed the event as a key intellectual tradition. He said universities form society's moral and intellectual backbone, while law colleges are custodians of inquiry, discipline, and debate.
They are a nursery of future leadership. You are training lawyers, magistrates, judges that will determine how we will fare in future in terms of our democratic governance. When the College of Law convenes the discourse on strategic themes of this nature, it performs more than an academic function. It contributes to the shaping of our national consciousness. What we are doing here today is not just a mere share of knowledge, but also speak directly into the define the imperatives of our time, the core of our national journey, the very essence of our nationhood, as we strive to strengthen governance structure in line with acceptable global best practices.
Aiyedatiwa commended the choice of Bashiru as guest lecturer, highlighting his academic background, legislative service, and party leadership. He acknowledged justice system delays from objections and preliminary applications, but insisted that due process remained essential for stability and institutional trust.
This concept, democratic governance, national security, and rule of law, they are not abstract concepts. They define whether societies progress or stagnate, whether institutions endure or erode. And of a truth, we have just been reminded of the intricate link between democracy, security, and rule of law. And these pillars are fundamental to a thriving nation, ensuring citizens' rights, safety, and justice.
Governor Aiyedatiwa described the Amotekun security outfit as a successful community policing model within the Southwest regional framework, emphasizing the need for interstate collaboration. He called on students, scholars, policymakers, and practitioners to apply the discourse insight in nation building, framing it as summons to collective responsibility. From Ifetedo in Osun State, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
The National Orientation Agency NOA has urged religious leaders and other stakeholders to lend support in stemming the spread of fake news and misinformation about federal government policies and programs. Director of the agency in Jigawa, Ahmad Ibrahim, said this at a one-day advocacy meeting on government policies, programs and activities in Dutse. Ibrahim says such support would help foster patriotism, unity and development in the country. He appealed to religious leaders to champion the fight against fake news and misinformation associated with government policies, programs and activities. The NOA boss explained that the federal government had initiated various economic recovery reforms to build a better future for all Nigerians, regardless of class, religion or social status. He added that the present administration had initiated many programs to support citizens in the areas of economy, education and agriculture, citing its no-fund program as a significant achievement. Director General of National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Binta Bello, has warned Nigerians to be wary of offers that look too good to be true, maintaining that this is one of the tactics human traffickers usually employ to lure unsuspecting members of the public. Bello said such job offers, which might sometimes require relocating outside the country, could turn out to be a ruse and a trap set by criminally minded individuals to lure people into forced labor, prostitution and organ harvesting if not properly verified. The DG, while speaking during a school sensitization program against human trafficking in a local government area of Ogun State, told school children to be aware that not only girls but boys are prime targets of human traffickers. She disclosed that NAPTIP is embarking on the school sensitization program to raise further awareness about the dangers of human trafficking and the need for school-age children, who are usually targeted, to be abreast of the tactics used by traffickers. Mrs. Bello urged the school children to always be alert and not hesitate to report any suspected human trafficking activities in and around them to their teachers for urgent intervention. You're still watching the news on Osrc television. After the break, INEC fixes dates for 2027 general elections. Please do join us for this and more. Thank you very much for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our digital channel More Place 720 on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that the 2027 presidential and National Assembly elections will hold on February 20, 2027, with governorship and state houses of assembly polls scheduled for March 6, 2027. The announcement from INEC Chairman Joash Amokbiton comes amid growing concerns over the delayed passage of the amended Electoral Act currently before the National Assembly. INEC had on February 4 indicated that it had completed work on the election timetable and schedule of activities despite the delay. The Commission noted that it had submitted its timetable to lawmakers but cautioned that some items in the schedule of activity could be affected depending on when the amended Electoral Act is eventually passed. Members of the Joint National Assembly Conference Committee constituted to reconcile differences in the Electoral Amendment Bill passed separately by the Senate and the House of Representatives are expected to meet on Monday as lawmakers move to transmit a harmonized version to President Bola Tinubu for assent. The joint panel, made up of members from both chambers, has been given a one-week window to resolve contentious provisions in the bill, notably those dealing with the electronic transmission of election results. The decision to harmonize the bill follows the passage of different versions by the Senate and the House, particularly on the role of technology in result collation and transmission. On the legislative procedure, where both chambers pass varying text of the same bill, a conference committee is set to proceed or to produce a single version acceptable to both sides before transmission to the President. The current amendment process is coming on the heels of the controversies that showed the 2023 general election, especially the failure of the Independent National Electoral Commission to upload presidential election results to its results viewing portal in real time. Fruit vending is witnessing a steady boom across Nigeria. From busy intersections to neighborhood markets in Akure, the Ondo State capital, fruit sellers have become a familiar sight, a sign that more Nigerians are turning to the business as a source of livelihood. But how profitable is fruit vending, and what is driving this surge? Osrc's Blessing will be visited major streets and markets in Akure to find out.
Fruits remain an essential part of our daily diet, consumed fresh or served as fruit salad. With increasing awareness about healthy living, demand continues to rise. Across Akure, costermongers line the roadsides, markets, and motor parks, displaying colorful arrays of oranges, pineapples, watermelons, bananas, among others. For many, the attraction lies in its accessibility. A fruit seller, Fenwa Kingsley, who has been in the trade for over 2 decades, says the business is relatively easy to start and does not require huge capital compared to many other ventures. According to her, consistent patronage and repeat customers make it sustainable.
You know, saying the business will go use more money start. You go use and train your children. So no be business will go use too much money start. It depends the place where they stay, how the business is moving there. So you will buy the one where if you sell. so that e no go spoil for your hand. If you dey do am like that, you go dey see your own, e no go spoil for your hand, but everything is well. You go dey use brain dey do the business, because na the business wey used to spoil. We make sure that we dey sell am kia so that e no go spoil for your hand.
Other vendors share similar views, noting that the business thrives especially during festive periods and odd seasons when demand for fresh fruits rises.
Fruits na business wey be say no how where you put am where people no go dey buy am. That is the reason why if you see some streets now everywhere full with fruits, na because say they move. But it's a perishable good, so but sometimes the profit that we make inside big pass the one wey we dey throw away inside. For me, since I've been doing it, I've not check any other business because I like it is moving. I like the business wey be say if I dey do am, e go dey move and I go dey see money every day, every time.
Fruit need to expose. People will be seeing it. Without seeing it, they will not buy it. You cannot keep it inside the room. You cannot keep it inside the shop. And you know, say that it's something that usually quickly spoil. This fruit, as I start it, number one, since that 2010 when I started, I see changes in my family and I see many people imitate it to start it.
In recent times, fruit business has grown beyond a side hustle to a dependable means of income for many Nigerians. However, fruit vending is not without challenges. Because fruits are highly perishable, losses can occur if sales are low. Poor storage facilities, fluctuating prices from suppliers, and unpredictable weather also affect profit margins. Despite these challenges, many vendors say the business remains rewarding. For some, it settles school fees, covers rent, and supports entire household. As economic realities push more Nigerians to seek alternative sources of income, fruit vending appears to offer a practical and relatively profitable option, one that combines growing health consciousness with entrepreneurial opportunity. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
Today marks World Radio Day 2026 with the theme Radio and Artificial Intelligence. AI is a tool, not a voice. The celebration highlights the enduring relevance of radio in the digital age while examining the growing influence of artificial intelligence in broadcasting. Joy Pius reports.
Every year on February 13, the world celebrates World Radio Day, an initiative put in place by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization to recognize radio as a powerful medium for information, education and entertainment. Despite the rise of digital media, radio remains one of the most accessible and affordable platforms of communication. From urban centers to remote communities, it continues to bridge information gaps, promote civic engagement, and provide timely updates during emergencies. In many developing societies, radio serves as a trusted companion, giving voice to the voiceless, promoting cultural identity, and fostering national development.
The high and the low, they listen to the radio, you understand, whether it's BBC, whether it's foreign stations, and radio is there for everyone to listen. It's, to me, travels farther than the TV, and it cuts across any status, every status.
INEC Chairman Professor Joas Amopito disclosed these while presenting the Commission's 2026 budget proposal.
The 2026 theme, Radio and Artificial Intelligence, AI is a tool and not a voice, underscores the growing influence of artificial intelligence in media production. from automated transcription and content analysis to audience data insights. AI is gradually becoming part of newsroom operations.
One of the reasons why I believe that AI is not a voice is the fact that too much dependency on AI, it takes away creativity. So in the broadcasting station, in the radio network, we must actually understand the fact that we must only use it as a tool, not a voice, because we won't be able to relate with the outside world if we are putting AI as a voice.
AI has different features like text to speech, system automation, and a few other things like that AI can do. AI cannot replace humans. As a matter of fact, it gets to a point that when we use AI too much, we tend to lose touch with the human interference.
Speaking with media professionals, they describe radio as a resilient medium that has adapted to technological shifts over the decades.
You want to do research about your program, AI is a tool you can use, but it says it's not a voice. It can't take over. It can't become your voice. AI doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have, when I say feeling, AI cannot cry. It doesn't have emotions. So there are some programs that there are some certain emotions that must come with it. AI cannot do that. It's just a tool. It helps a whole lot. We welcome it.
I'm aware there are applications now that you have these robots, AIs as it were, ChatGPT and the likes of them. There is even one called Gemini or something that they don't sleep, they're not human beings, so at every point in time, the moment you prompt them, they are there to respond to all of your inquiries and whatever. That is a great, technological advancement.
Too much has been achieved. When you merge AI and radio. However, there's hope that a lot more will be achieved going forward, especially considering the fact that there's a lot of sensitization about AI and the people want to adopt technology. Don't also forget Nigeria has a huge youth population who are tech savvy, and so I see a situation whereby the industry that is basically now populated by young people will begin to see the impact of AI very, very soon.
They noted that while AI enhances efficiency and innovation, concerns remain about its potential abuse, particularly in the spread of misinformation, manipulation of audio contents, and erosion of ethical standards.
When you look at AI, it still gives room for inaccurate information, because AI is what you put in AI, what you have on the internet that AI will give you. It is what you have reported as journalists. Some of us, what we have reported, which is on social media, which is on internet, that AI will now put together and push out. So AI basically is good. It's adding value to our profession, but it's not the ultimate when it comes to the purpose of radio broadcasting.
We had some interns a while ago that we gave some tests because they must pass before we engage them maybe to control the crowd and the number of people, the influx of interns we have here. And it would interest you to know that 80% of all of these students were using ChatGPT to do the assignment we give them.
Don't let AI make you lazy as a radio person. People want to feel what you're feeling. That is why you are behind the mic talking to people. So don't let AI make you feel very lazy. As much as you want to use it, which of course is an advice, use AI. It has come to stay, it is going nowhere. Use AI, but don't get lazy in the process of using it.
You see a lot of poor journalistic work, all over the places. But again, if media organizations are careful enough, or proprietors of media organizations are careful enough to ensure that the integrity of whoever they want to hire as media manager is intact, I think that a lot more positivity will come to the media industry when you talk of the infusion of AI as a tool into the things that we do as journalists.
As As innovation continues to transform media landscapes, stakeholders emphasize that the future of broadcasting lies in striking a balance, leveraging technology to improve service delivery while safeguarding the integrity and credibility that defines radio journalism. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia to represent President Bola Tinubu at the 39th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union, scheduled to hold from February 14th to the 15th. The summit will focus on threatening continental commitments to sustainable water management, improved sanitation systems, and broader development targets under the EU's Agenda 2063 blueprint. Shettima was received on arrival at Bole International Airport by Ethiopia's Minister of Innovation and Technology, Belet Mola, and State Minister of Foreign Affairs, Barano Tsegaye. Speaking on peace, security, and democratic governance at the session, the Vice President said a major highlight of the meeting was the Council's agreement to grant Nigeria a permanent seat on the board of the African Central Bank. He added that Nigeria has demonstrated leadership in strengthening democratic governance by organizing a ministerial high-level panel discussion on regional partnerships for democracy. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has deployed the army to help the police fight criminal gangs and illegal mining in the country. Ramaphosa said in his annual State of the Nation address that organized crime is now the most immediate threat to the country's democracy and economic development. Beyond the military deployment, Ramaphosa announced additional measures to combat crime, including recruiting 5,500 police officers, strengthening intelligence, and targeting crime syndicate. Authorities blame illegal miners, known as Zama, typically armed, undocumented foreign nationals, for their involvement in organized crime syndicate. The Confederation of African Football has confirmed that Morocco remains the host nation for the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations. Speaking after a CAF Executive Committee meeting in Dar es Salaam, CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe addressed the rumors directly, stating that the tournament will take place on schedule from 17th March to 3rd April 2026. Motsepe also stressed the importance of sticking to the agreed timeline. The 2026 FAWAFCON will be the third consecutive edition hosted by Morocco following the 2022 and 2024 tournament. And with that sports story, we conclude the news tonight, but before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you that Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa says democracy amounts to nothing when the rule of law weakens, noting that security without justice breeds resentment and unaccountable development, as well as undermines public trust. Aiyedatiwa made a assertion while delivering a lecture at the College of Law, Osho State University. As media practitioners mark World Radio Day, experts have attested to the growing influence of artificial intelligence AI, condemning its manipulative tendencies. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that the 2027 presidential and National Assembly elections will hold on the 25th February, with governorship and state houses of assembly poll coming up on March 6th. And from the foreign scene, South Africa's President Ramaphosa has deployed the army to support police against soaring gang violence and organized crime in the country. And that's the news tonight. Many thanks for watching. Good evening.